Greetings, YouTube! Months ago, sometime I think in January, I found a tag on a gaming blog, and I'm not sure which gaming blog it was, but the tag was essentially go to a dollar store, spend $10, and buy things that can be used in a role-playing game at the table. So, I went to a dollar store, and unfortunately I did not go at Christmas when I'd actually seen dragons there before I saw this tag, which is kind of a bummer. But I was able to find things that I think that are applicable to most fantasy-style role-playing games, possibly, and some of them are going to be useful for non-fantasy. So, of course, you have the ubiquitous Clipboard. Very handy to have when you're taking notes and you want to keep your paperwork neat and orderly, and particularly if you're running your game in an environment not at a table, like in someone's living room, or something like that. So very handy to have. The classic notebook. I have reams of notebooks kicking around that have characters in them and gaming notes and stuff from old campaigns. So very useful things. And of course these are items that I can use in the real world when I'm not gaming as well. Then you have index cards, which are colored. These are colored, which is also very useful if you're a GM and you want to use color coding for keeping notes. You could say, like, certain ones are magic items, and certain ones are traps or poisons or what have you. You can use these as status cards. For example, if their character is paralyzed, you can have a card that says you are paralyzed, and you hand it to them, and they have to keep it until they are not paralyzed, as a reminder that you are currently under this condition. So very handy to have. Of course, dice. These are, of course, they're not dollar store dice, so they're not perfect, but I've used them, and they work reasonably well. I happen to like the fact that they give you a color selection, which is a nice touch, as well as the standard white D6s. So everybody needs dice. And I did this purchasing around the time of Mardi Gras, so we have coins which are in different colors. Of course, you can just use the gold ones if you want, but these are useful for tokens or for actual coins if you're doing some kind of more of immersive style play. We have glass beads, and glass beads are useful as game counters. Lots of people use these for action points. Some people use for timekeeping. They'll have a pile, and they'll move one out of every round until you don't have any actions to take, so that the combat is over, the duration of the spell is off or something like that. Then we have a bag of creatures. We have spiders, cockroach, there's a giant ant in here, I think. Yeah, there's a giant ant in here. All perfectly applicable as monsters for 25mm scale miniatures. And then we have more creatures, and these are snakes. Obviously, you're not going to have the ability to use these in every adventure, but there are constrictors and poisonous snakes, and these would be awesome as an adversary with 25mm miniatures. These things are going to be huge. And of course, I bought a dinosaur. This is a Stegosaurus, and to a 25mm figure, this is not that far off scale, actually. These things are not quite the size as they would be against the 25mm miniature, but they're not far off. So you could definitely use this as a display of a dire dinosaur or something unusually large if your campaign runs that way. So I would love if people could actually do this tag. I think this would be awesome to see what you can find in your thrift shop. You're after a thrift shop, but your dollar store for gaming stuff. Again, $10. These are things that can be used. I'm probably not going to use these. I'm going to use them on something else. I guess I could use them as slingshot ammo if I wanted to. Because I don't want to use counters. But the rest of these things can be used in gaming or be used as just general household clipboard, notepad, cards. You can use those in everyday life. In fact, I have a video coming up in the near future which is going to talk about how I use index cards. So tell me, what can you find in your dollar store that you can use at your gaming table? Apparently I forgot one item. These mechanical pencils. Also real useful. I use them at work all the time. Also good at the table because you don't have to sharpen them. So I apologize. That was only 9 items. This makes it 10. I can count. Yay.